He doesn't want to pick up early fouls against Parrish, so he's going to give ground on him.
Celtics have their reserve guards in there, so Johnson and Ainge getting the rest. 6 on the shot clock. Tyler. And they're going to call the foul on Quinn Buckner. That'll be his second personal foul.
That's one way a little man guards a bigger guy. Out in front, moving his feet, keep him guessing where you are. Almost came up with a steal, Quinn Buckner.
Buckner has been a good team man. Playing time dwindled to nearly nothing this year, and yet with a big supportive personality on the club. Here's Vinnie Johnson in the corner. Not the same as the other game so far for Vinnie Johnson. Here's Ray Williams. Vinnie's 0 for 5. Quinn Buckner going to the basket is fouled. Isaiah Thomas with his second personal foul, and Dennis Johnson will be coming back for the Celtics.
I tell you, when you push the ball up the court, the way the Celtics just did, all of a sudden Isaiah Thomas has got to take maybe 2 defenders or 2 offensive people, and he can get in foul trouble. So they've got to control that fast break of the Celtics a little bit better than they have. People getting back, but with Roundfield's bad knee, that's going to hurt them in that department.
Buckner hits them both. Celtics by 7. Johnson remains on the bench. He'll be coming in for Buckner in a moment. Lane Beer. Still Lane Beer.
Well, now they got Robert Parrish guarding Lambier, so that should open up and make it easier for Lambier to hit that outside shot.
Williams. Pass knocked away by Tyler. On the turnover, Vinnie Johnson to Isaiah Thomas. Brownfield going inside, and he elbows Larry Bird. Bird got hit in the elbow by Roundfield and gave him a look. The foul is on Bird, his second.
Here we're going to see it right in the chops, but it goes on Bird. I guess he got his face in the way of Danny's elbow.
Speaking of Danny, Ainge is back in, as well as Dennis Johnson. So Casey Jones going to his bench, certainly giving his starters ample rest in this first half.
And lots of fouls they're using on Isaiah.
Speaking of Larry Bird, he still has not scored in the game. Tyler is wide open. You can't leave these Pistons wide open. They'll hit.
Well, Bird roams on the defense, and that's what the Pistons are keying on. Find his man, let him take that outside shot. And Terry, no conscience, he'll do it.
Bird misses again. He is 0 for 5 now from the field. Low down is Isaiah Thomas. Gets it in there to Tyler. Blocked by Bird, taken down by Bird. 3-on-1 for the Celtics. And Bird is fouled from behind by Vinnie Johnson.
Here's Bird, a little up fake, and Bird plays him by just playing his shooting hand from behind or on the side, knocks away. But look at Vinnie Johnson hustling up that court. What a winner here.
The foul was on Tyler. We'll come back.
Throw me a strike in here. I come back to the ballpark once in a while for old time's sake. I even get a chance to... These fans love me. I even paint the old pitching machine with Rust Magic with RP2. Gotta tell you, Rust Magic keeps this pitcher in great shape.
Yeah, but the catcher's rusty.
They never forget you. And Rust Magic dries a lot faster than the leading national brand. And that's a winner when you're rained down. Rust Magic from Krylon. Tough, fast-drying rust protection.
You're about to see what may be the most dependable film laboratory in the world. A lab that develops pictures not in hours, but in seconds. That makes taking great pictures remarkably easy. That delivers your pictures right to you, anywhere in the world. And where can you find this lab? Right in the palm of your hand. Polaroid instant cameras.
At a sticker price of $59.99, this Nissan lists for $1 more than our leading competitor's standard truck. But look what you get for your buck. A bigger engine, bigger payload, a 5-speed, steel-belted radials, welded double-wall bed, all for $59.99. Nissan, it's a lot more truck for $1.
Right now, you can save lots of bucks with 8.8% financing on any new Nissan truck at your Nissan Datsun dealer.
The Byron Nelson Golf Classic continues tomorrow on CBS Sports.
And after 2 rounds, Mac O'Grady has a 3-stroke lead over 3 others. And neither O'Grady nor Buddy Gardner, who's tied for second, have ever won a tournament. The Byron Nelson Golf Classic tomorrow afternoon on CBS Sports.
Here we're going to see the free safety of the Boston Celtics, Larry Bird, who was right behind Robert Parrish. As there's some action going on here, Bird will come into this area, leaving his man, Terry Tyler, completely to the left of your screen, and the Pistons take advantage of that. Watch Bird drop into the paint, and over it goes to Tyler, and he's got the type of shot that will make Larry Bird pay for that gamble.
Say it, Tommy, the Celtics have to like their situation. Larry Bird has not scored. The starters are getting plenty of breathers, and the Celtics have led all the way. Not a bad spot to be in at this juncture. Ames to Bird. Short again. He's been missing short throughout the game. Here's a 2-on-1 for Detroit. Tyler over Bird. Pistons will set it up. Trailing by 3. Lambier. 1-point game now.
He'll slide in behind that defense, come up and let the other 3 or 4 guys get up quickly, and they'll find Lambier. He'll kill you with that shot.
9:15 to go in the first half. Double team on Parrish. Dennis Johnson in the lane. And DJ now with 12 points. High scorer for the Celtics. Isaiah Thomas, 13, is the high man in the ball game. He has the ball. 1-on-1 against Ames. Isolated. The foul. Bump foul before the shot. And here is Earl Curidan, who had 7 rebounds in 14 minutes in Game 5 and actually did a good defensive job in places on Larry Bird.
Well, he is a fine, hustling type player. Gives you lots of intensity, but here's a guy that really has come out of his shell tonight. Offensively, more because Parrish is having to guard him than anything else. Got lots of room to shoot.
Bird, 10 points, or Lambier, we should say, 10 points. Kevin McHale in the ball game. Losing it out of bounds is Tyler.
Boy, and Tyler was wide open again as they deked Bird to the penetration. Caught him leaning.
Detroit has committed 7 turnovers. The Celtics only 1. Ames looking inside. Finds Parrish, and Curidan might have been on his back. Foul on Earl Curidan, and that will be the 3rd team foul against Detroit.
That's a real mismatch advantage for the Celtics. Parrish being guarded by Curidan, so they like to go to those type of situations with their big people. McHale, if he's got one, but now Parrish seems to have the biggest one.
Trying to get Bird on track, and that's the way to do it. Good pass from Danny Ainge in a layup, and Larry Bird scores his first points with 8 minutes and 20 seconds to go in the first half. Thomas takes under Ainge and gets his 15th point of the game. Well, he's back.
Yep. Was there a doubt?
Well, he didn't like wearing that number 42 jersey. And he said it was like a summer league shirt. Now he feels like Isaiah Thomas. And we have a push and a loose ball foul. And it's against the Pistons, Dan Roundfield, as Kelly Tripucka comes back in the ball game.
Well, Dennis did a smart thing. He got right in front of Roundfield, blocking him off on that fast break attempt, knowing that Isaiah's pull-up was going to produce a rebound. Good block out that time by DJ.
Tyler goes to the bench for Detroit, scored 4 points. 7:40 remaining in the first half. Bird once again is on the front rim. Celtics back on defense. Thomas pushes it anyway. Pistons crash the board. Tripucka. Parrish clears. Kelly normally makes those easy.
He's not short today. He's off to the right, and that means you're really having a tough night.
McHale wins the battle. Finds Danny Ainge. 4-on-1, 4-on-2 for Detroit. And Vinnie Johnson throws it away, and Larry Bird will get an easy one. And that's the kind of mistake that Chuck Daly can ill afford. Those kill you, Tommy.
Well, in their eagerness to have a real team game, they turned down an easy shot, and the receiver never even had his hands up.
And the turnover story continues to favor the Boston Celtics, who lead by 5. And that was their lead starting the second period. We have 6:40 remaining in the half. Puritan. Parrish and Bird win the rebound battle. Trailer is Ames. Open is Johnson. And Dennis Johnson hits, and the Celtics are playing their best basketball in the 3 games they played at Joe Louis Arena and have opened up a 7-point lead. Timeout in Detroit.
Legends of the NBA. The greats remember. Sponsored by Schick.
What I like to do is do something a little bit different, like the innovation of the behind-the-back dribble. Get the fast break going, go down, feint a few players, take off, hold my position in the air. Then I would pass the ball off and they could score a layup. It's a funny thing, but all my coaches tried to inhibit me and play the game the way they played it at that time.
How many Schicks can you get from one disposable Schick?
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
No one makes a sharp, long-lasting disposable quite like
Saturday, Sunday.
How many Schicks does your disposable give you?
Stockton and Tom Heinsohn here in Detroit. This is the CBS Shutter Cam, which is a high-quality slow motion where you can see the close-up and get a good look at the expressions on the face of the players involved here.
You see Robert Parrish guarding the power forward, Danny Roundfield, and that is definitely in the Celtics' favor because that leaves him close to the basket and in good rebounding position against a smaller player. So the Pistons getting outmanned on that boards, and that's why Parrish is having such an effect rebounding-wise.
Robert Parrish has 8 rebounds so far and has 10 points. 7-point lead for the Celtics. Detroit continues to out-rebound the Boston Celtics by 12 at this juncture. Nearly halfway through the second period. McHale trying to deny Tripucka. Bird is on Benson. Bird is just hanging in the middle there. As Kent Benson misses the shot, the ball goes over. Larry Bird really is going to be a safety man defensively here. Dan Roundfield on the bench hurting, as you can see that left knee, bone bruise.
He had a knee operation in the middle of the season. He removed some collagen there, but it's acting up now.
Parrish. There's Ainge outside. Danny Ainge with 7 points. The Celtic guards used to be a problem with the ball club. Outside shooting, the perimeter from the guards. That was erased dramatically this year. Now McHale is on Benson, and they switch Bird to Tripucka. Thomas. Dennis Johnson gets the rebound with less than 5.5 to go in the first half. Bad pass, Dennis Johnson turns it over, and Ainge can't save it. The shooting story here in the second period. Detroit struggles at 30%, and the Celtics have been about that number, nearly 50.
The only hot player that they have is about to report back in the game, Lambier, who's gotten his shot pretty effectively here. Isaiah really hasn't heated up, nor has Vinnie Johnson for the Pistons.
Thomas has 15 points to lead all scorers, but only 2 of them here in the second period. Tripucka driving in. Puritan blocked by Parrish and then walks. Problems Detroit has inside. Obvious there.
And Bird coming off his defensive man to help out. There's the man coming in. Tripucka cuts down on a penetration and now is in a battle on the boards. And watch, they surround, including Bird. Earl Cureton forcing the walk.
22nd timeout called by Casey Jones of Boston. But the burden right now is on this team, the Pistons.
You know, that rebounding edge that we're talking about, that might be a little bit of an illusion. But they have to keep it up because they're not shooting, I don't think, particularly well on their shots. The type of shots, Tripucka's outside shot, Vinnie Johnson's shot, that's where they're having their problem.
Well, coming up Sunday at the half, CBS Sports will have live coverage of the NBA Draft Lottery from the Waldorf Astoria Hotel in New York City. The Draft Lottery is for the 7 teams which did not qualify for the 1985 NBA playoffs, and there they are. Clippers, Golden State Warriors, Atlanta, Indiana, New York Knicks, Sacramento, formerly Kansas City and Seattle, and what are they all going for? That man, Patrick Ewing. That's this Sunday on At the Half.
I think people are going to their local cathedrals or what have you.
Good luck charms are sprouting up all over the place, Thomas. Against Curitin, McHale edging in toward the hoop is fouled. The guards have been the leading scorers in the ball game.
Right now, Chuck Daly is saying Earl Curitin's going to play McHale. We'll put a muscle guy on McHale a little bit. Lambier's still back in the game, so Pistons going big, still hoping to maintain that rebounding edge.
Vinnie Johnson goes out of the game, and John Long comes in. Johnson has not scored and was 0 for 5 from the field. So at this point, the magic is not there for VJ. Foul was on Curitin, and the Pistons are in the penalty, and the Celtics again have opened up a 10-point lead and can match their biggest lead of the game, 11, if McHale hits this free throw. So it's still 10.
Here's the man that's got to provide the spot, Isaiah.
All the way, Isaiah Thomas rolls off. Loose ball, it's still Pistons.
Boy, is Isaiah upset with himself. He's looking at the stanchion under the basket. How did I miss that one? We need shots like that.
Thomas directing like he'd be a quarterback. Ames defending. Thomas going baseline. Knocks away, and they call a loose ball foul. Kevin McHale might have been pushing off on the play. He was. His second.
Yeah, like that play, they pushed Isaiah to the baseline, made him take an awfully difficult shot. But Lambier banging hard on the board.
Isaiah Thomas has missed his last 5 shots. Vinnie Johnson 0 for 5. So the Pistons' range shooting is not there. John Long, double, triple team. Thomas is wide open. Thomas again. He can't buy anything here. Rebuka. And the Pistons cannot do anything to get a basket. There is a lid on the hoop for them, and the Celtics coming right back. Larry Bird. He misses.
And he's shaking his head. I can't believe I'm missing those.
John Long. 3:42 remaining in the first half.
Chuck Daly will have a job at halftime convincing his players not to give up because they are getting demoralized here in this first half.
Robert Parrish turnaround. Celtics with several opportunities to open up their biggest lead of the game, and now the Pistons come back and can cut it to 8. Pistons haven't scored in 4.5 minutes. And Lambier crashing the boards. No basket, and the foul is called against Bill Lambier, I believe, and that will be number 2 on Lambier.
Well, he's doing his job underneath. Coaches don't mind that type of foul where you're in there crashing and banging, and he's really using that wide body. McHale, that's a tough job for him to keep Lambier off the boards, but look, gives him a little straight arm, a little stiff arm, and he'll put you in the back of the neck, and I create my position, and that's what they call a loose ball foul.
Nothing loose about that forearm, I'll tell you that.
That was a tight forearm.
McHale will go to the line. So Larry Bird has only scored 4 points. He got off to an ice-cold start. But Casey Jones wisely has given his starters rest. He's going deep into the bench. Detroit can't buy a basket as their 22% shooting average indicates, and the Celtics now with their biggest lead of the ball game, 12 points.
Now this little man here bringing the ball up the court. He's perfectly capable of shucking off this terrible spurt and doing something on his own.
Lambier has a shot blocked by McHale, and here's Dennis Johnson back to McHale. And the Detroit Pistons have a big problem, and their problem is wearing green right now. The Celtics are playing like they're the defending champions. Waiting in the wings are the Philadelphia 76ers, but this game has a long way to go. Curitin finally breaks the drought.
Well, he took Bird to school that time. Bird is matched up against Curitin.
5 minutes and 20 seconds. The Pistons went without scoring a point. 2:35 to go, and you watch the clock in the second period. 8 on the shot clock. Bird quickly to the hoop against Trapuka. Lane Beer wraps it out of bounds.
I'll tell you, Bird is being very nicely defended by Kelly Trapuka. He's forcing him, Bird, to take the ball in difficult positions to score from tonight much better than he has in the prior game.
But the Celtics are getting scoring from McHale, Dennis Johnson, and Parrish, and that's been enough.
This year, you'll apply your brakes over 50,000 times. And the more you stop, the more you'll need Midas. Because we back every brake repair we do with a nationwide guarantee on brake shoes and pads. If they should ever wear out, Midas will replace them free at over 1,400 locations for as long as you own your car. With such a good guarantee, why would you stop anyplace else?
Trust the Midas touch.
We're here at the 18th hole of this Light Beer Open, and we've seen some real unusual shots today.
You said it.
Hey, Bob, I think you got a birdie.
Elsie, how am I supposed to hit it through this tree?
No problem, Bert.
How's Yuka going to get out of this with
That calls for another light beer from Miller.
Make it 2, 3, 4. It's a good thing likes less filling.
Back to you, Ricky.
John, the last player's approaching the tee.
And when it goes to 100, you sell. I won't be long, girls. Hold my calls, will you? It hit the weather vane. It's in the drain. Here it comes out. It's going on the green. It's going in the hole.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
This open ought to be closed.
Saturday, Mickey Spillane's Mike Hammer is better than ever. And he's right in the thick of things.
I tell you, it's a lot safer to watch TV these days.
55-43, the Celtics lead in the second period, and right now let's check into New York with Pat O'Brien. What's coming up at the half, Patrick?
All right, Dick, thank you. Coming up at the half, one of the big stories in sports this week, of course, was Peter Ueberroth's announcement of a new drug program for baseball. And NBA Commissioner David Stern reacts to that. Late report on what's ahead out in the West, where the Lakers and Nuggets prepare for their conference final. And what's it like to have a week off in the middle of the playoffs? We'll check on the Philadelphia 76ers. And Suns coach John McLeod, well, he's up late as well, as we bring you a late-night edition of At the Half. And Dick and Tommy, I was looking in the playoff guide, and Tommy, you're in the top 10 of most field goals attempted, but you're not in the top 10 for field goals made. Now, I wonder if Havlicek got credit for some of those.
Well, what kind of a guy bringing up those bad things?
Tommy, I think if the Celtics wanted to take the crowd out of the ball game, and that was their first priority, they have done it at this point.
The fast-paced and really good defense that they've played, and then the outside game of the Pistons has really deserted them. Their mainstay has left.
2:20 to go in the first half. 12-point lead. Biggest lead of the game right now for the Celtics. The Pistons have never enjoyed the advantage in this one. Double team on Tyler. Tyler against Dennis Johnson. Good move by Tyler, who played at the University of Detroit. A guy like Tyler and Vinnie Johnson can spark this team, and they've done it.
Well, all the Pistons should try and do right now is not get it back all in one big gulp, but play good defense and try and get it under 10.
Loop it into Maxwell. Maxwell turnaround. Cedric Maxwell, who is slowly getting back into the flow. His best game was the first game of the series. Once again, a 12-point lead. Tyler coming right back with another basket. John Long did a little dance with Danny Ainge. And now a Detroit foul is called. The basket will count, apparently. And the foul is on Lane Beer, and that'll be his third, Tom.
Well, he's banging and giving you those type of fouls to exert some muscle underneath the basket. And they have to be careful about him, but they're not too concerned about those type of fouls because he's carving out territory underneath there to help out on missed shots. But Terry Tyler has really been helping out. The last couple of possessions, they're going to him. Maxwell's been guarding him. And Maxwell not 100% physically, so they might have something going there with Tyler, the Pistons.
McHale makes the first free throw. Here's the man you're talking about, Terry Tyler, who had 18 points in the final quarter of Game 3, so he can explode.
Boy, his eyes light up when things start going good for him. I love to see him and Vinnie Johnson when they start going good.
Here's Vinnie Johnson. First basket of the game for Johnson after missing 5.
Watch out. They are not going to quit, these Pistons. Well, they've gone sour before, and they've bounced back. They're not afraid.
Here's McHale inside. Reverse layup off the rim. Pistons can cut it to 8 right now. Tyler and Johnson, and then off the bench. Vinny has it. Vinny misses. Vinny has it again. Vinny goes up. Loses the ball. Crowd yells foul. And Larry Bird hits from outside. The crowd vocal over what they consider to be a foul on Vinnie Johnson. But the Celtics got the 2, and it's 61-49 again.
Well, this is not a big team that the Pistons have in there, but all those little guys are really banging on the board.
Trapuka draws the foul and gets the basket.
Kind of unusual. John Long, Kelly Trapuka not the biggest. Here's Kelly Trapuka down in the low hole against Danny Ainge, has an advantage. Even though they're about the same size, Trapuka is used to playing in there, knows he can muscle a guard, and does so very nicely.
3 fouls on Danny Ainge. Trapuka looking for his 9th point. 9-point lead for Boston, 28 seconds to go. McHale and Dennis Johnson, each with 14 to lead the Celtics. Isaiah Thomas, 15 for Detroit. Thomas is on the bench right now. 7 on the shot clock. Bird. And Bird getting that shooting eye back. He has scored all of his 8 points here in the second period. And the Pistons throw the ball away, and that'll do it for the first half. The Pistons cut the 12-point lead, but the Celtics came back, and at the end of the half, it's Boston 63, Detroit 52. Celtics 1/2 away from wrapping it up.
The NBA on CBS. Tonight's playoff game from Detroit, Michigan is sponsored by Miller Beer. Miller, made the American way since 1855. Polaroid Corporation, innovations in photographic and video products. And by Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately?
Dick Stockton and Tom Heinsohn back in Detroit. More bad news for the Pistons, who trail by 11. Dan Roundfield, their starting power forward, who did not start the game, played 11 minutes and did not score, is through for the night. He will not dress for the second half, so that injured knee has really bothered him. And I guess, Tom, we're going to kind of analyze what this first half has been all about. I think Celtic playoff experience has really come to the forefront in the first half.
Well, the emotion of this game certainly was very important, but I think it might have caught hold of the Pistons a little bit too much. They got 2 up for this one and not able to perform. You got to be a little loose, and that's where what you mean by the playoff experience.
Well, the Celtics needed some help other than Larry Bird, and they got it. Robert Parrish got off the boards and scoring-wise early. Very, very strong inside. And when you're doing stuff like this on the offensive board, when it counts, it's very meaningful. The turnover situation. Boston committed only 2. That's an amazing amount in a fast-paced game. Yes, and you would believe that Detroit would score more than 5 points on their fast break. That's been a big story here, too. So Boston with the fast break points, and this is the frustration that even Superman Vinnie Johnson experienced in the first half. Boy, I'll tell you, when this man deserts them, they really got big problems. And Isaiah and Vinnie Johnson, John Long, and Trapuka all missing from the outside. Well, the Pistons depend on their guard shooting because their front court's not going to do it against Boston. They've each got 9 baskets. Detroit had 28 shots to only 15 for the Celtics. But you want to talk about dance night at Joe Louis Arena, invite John Long. His partner is Danny Ainge. And while you people normally are watching the ball being moved around, watch what really is going on in a pro basketball game. Danny Ainge and John Long. Excuse me, sir, it's my turn to dance. And Ainge says, I want that place instead of you. In the new step. And the new step is, it's a boogaloo step. And down he goes. And nobody saw it, not even the referee, because everybody was watching the ball. Well, there is John Long, who the Pistons count on for outside shooting. He has scored 4 points in the ball game, and there's Danny Ainge, who has been terrific in the series. He has 7 points. The bench scoring, which is really heavily favored Detroit, Pistons have outscored the Celtics reserves only 12-10. So all signs are not favorable at all for the Detroit Pistons as we get underway in the third period. Capacity crowd at Joe Louis Arena, they want something to cheer about. Lambier gives it to him right off.
They go to their hot man from the first half. Lambier hitting his shot.
Dan Roundfield looking at the stat sheet as we did. Finished for the game. Kent Benson starting with Tripucka, Lambier up front, Isaiah Thomas and John Long in the backcourt. Celtics with their 5. Dennis Johnson, Danny Ainge, Larry Bird, Robert Parrish, and Kevin McKay. Bird scored all of his 8 points in the second period. Good defense by Tripucka. He should get a little more credit for that now. Lambier hit 1, hits 2.
Isaiah finding the hot man once again.
He's hot, 6 for 8 from the field.
I'll tell you, this team is used to coming back from big downs, so don't be surprised if they pull it even.
Block. Tripucka gets a piece of Bird's pass, and Parrish turnaround hits. Robert Parrish now has 12 points. Of course, the Celtics did have an 11-point lead going to the final period Sunday, and the Pistons came back and won. Here's Kelly Tripucka.
When Isaiah penetrates like that, and Kelly Tripucka has all the time in the world to shoot, he's going to make them.
McHale against Benson. Big advantage for Boston. McHale scores.
Well, Rodney Dangerfield still not getting any respect here.
Tripucka puts a fake on Bird nicely, and his foul going in.
Tripucka said in Sunday's game that he was going to take it to Larry Bird. When Bird came at him, take the outside shot and then drive and try to create some openings for other people or fouls on the Celtics' big guy.
Parrish's second foul. One out of 2 for Tripucka. 8-point lead for the Celtics.
Celtics, if they start to slow the ball game down, might be playing right into the hands of the Pistons.
That's what they did in Game 4. Didn't push it up enough. They corrected that in the 5th game. Bird. And Benson gets the rebound. Out to John Long. Less than 2 minutes gone by in the third period, and the Pistons have come out strong here. But Long loses the ball underneath to Larry Bird. Another Detroit turnover. Celtics content at this point to play the half-court offense. 9 on the shot clock. 5. Here's Larry Bird. And a loose ball foul called against Boston. Was it McHale pushing off? It was, and that's his 3rd personal foul. So McHale has 3, so does Danny Ainge. Lambier is the only Piston with 3 personal fouls.
Where I come from, folks stand proud and tall. They'll look you right in the eye. A place where pride is worth a whole lot more than money can buy. Where people care about their family. Where laughter's sincere. Where your word is your word. A friend's a friend and Miller's the beer. Miller's made the American way. Born and brewed in the USA. Just as proud as the people who are drinking it today. Miller's made the American way.
Miller contains no additives, no preservatives. Miller beer. Purity you can see, quality you can taste.
Miller's made the American way.
Okay, gang, let's take on the tough stuff.
And now is the best time to take on that tough stuff with the Ford Bronco 2 and new low 8.8% financing. Only one four-wheel drive vehicle has this combination of style and toughness. Yes, conquer the rough stuff with a tough Ford Bronco 2 and get low 8.8% financing at your participating Ford dealer. Hurry, 8.8% financing on new Bronco 2s, delivered by June 3rd.
You're about to see what may be the most dependable film laboratory in the world. A lab that develops pictures not in hours, but in seconds. That makes taking great pictures remarkably easy. That delivers your pictures right to you, anywhere in the world. And where can you find this lab? Right in the palm of your hand. Polaroid instant cameras.
At the conclusion of the game, Tom and I will select the light beer.